Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge, and let's talk horror. Now, today I am joined by the beautiful Dawn Marie Hughes. Dawn, how you doing today?
Good. How are you, Ken?
I am doing so well. It is so nice to see you again.
It's really great to see you. I have to tell you real quick, I love everything that you do, and seeing the short film that you just did not too long ago. I can't wait for you to make a full-length feature. So
Thank you. That seriously means more to me than anybody could ever know. You're somebody that I've had the privilege to work with in person. And I do want to talk about that a little bit. But first, I want people to get to know you a little bit that don't know you yet. Dawn is a Midwest-based actor, OHIO, go Bucks, who has starred in several indie short films, as well as a few feature indie films as well, and has worked on a variety of film categories from drama, suspense, comedy, horror. When it comes to making a film, Dawn, do you prefer to do short films or do you prefer feature-length films?
I would have to say I prefer feature-length films because you can really get more of a storyline going. When you do the short films, you have to do things so quick that a lot of times the viewer doesn't get like a full detail of like a character background. So full length is more fun. Plus, you're on set longer.
Right, and that's another thing. Being on set is such an amazing thing. And your work has paid off because you've won Best Actress for the 3 Weeks of Terror Film Festival and Best Supporting Actress for the 48-Hour Film Project and the 3 Weeks of Terror Festival. And you're currently working on the upcoming TV series St. Gabriel, which is where you and I met and were able to work together.
Yes.
You're also doing a YouTube web series and writing several scripts. So
yes.
What is that feeling like to get that award? Best actress, best supporting actress. How did that feel getting those awards, knowing that the hard work you've been doing is paying off?
It's really absolutely surreal. I go in there to these ceremonies or award ceremonies. You go and you watch everybody's film, you think everybody does a tremendous job, and you want to support all people, not just cast, not just crew, whoever. But I don't go in there with the notion that I'm going to get anything ever.
Right.
It's I'm here to support everybody else. And when they call my name for things, I'm like, wait, what? So when I get up there to accept it, I'm like, I don't know what to say because I didn't expect it. So it's very surreal, very tremendous.
And it's one of those things where it doesn't surprise me at all. Just from what knowing you and working with you and seeing how serious you take everything that you do, I'm super proud of you as a friend to a friend, but as somebody that looks up to you. It's just really awesome to see how amazing these things are going for you. And obviously you guys have already seen it. We did a St. Gabriel update a couple weeks ago that's live on the channel now, which I will also link down in the description. But you have a YouTube web series that you're working on. Can you tell us a little bit about that, or is that still kind of under wraps at this moment?
It's still kind of under wraps, but I will tell you my character is a really fun, crazy character. She really likes candy a lot. She should be in a psych ward, and she really likes to kill people. So
well, I mean,
with candy.
That just sounds like the best thing I could ever imagine.
It's kind of a comedic killer. So
there you go. Well, and you do have a couple other short films that are on YouTube right now, and you guys can watch those by clicking the links down in the description. Not only can you watch her short films there, but I have all of Dawn's social media links as well. So make sure you're following her so you can stay up to date on all the things that she has coming up for you, because I'll update you as much as I can, but there's nothing better than getting the word from the horse's mouth. So make sure that you're following her on social media. Make sure you check out the short films that I have down here in the description. I promise you that you won't regret it. Now, Dawn, we know what you got going on in the future. And we know what you're doing right now. But God damn it, I got to traumatize you a little bit more. I want to go back to the past. I want to talk about how horror started for you, your first horror movie. And boy, do I love this.
And God.
Dawn, your first horror movie was?
It was a Freddy Krueger. I think it was part 3, wasn't it? Dream Warriors?
The Dream Warriors. Yes. And it's funny because you were like, listen, Ken, it was a Freddy movie and fuck that guy. He traumatized me. I was like, oh, cool. So I'll wear his sweater during our interview. Do you remember about how old you were the first time you had seen it?
I was probably about 8. It was when it first came on TV. So we weren't cool enough to have cable back in the day when I was a kid. So we had to wait until things actually came on TV and whatnot. But if I actually said Freddie's full name, that would be the first time I said it in probably since I was 8.
Oh my gosh,
That's how scary it
hilarious.
was to me. Yeah, but I was about 8.
And it's funny because when we talk about horror movies, like some people, when they watch them for the first time, they just become completely enamored and it becomes like a lifestyle and something that they absolutely love. But then I have other friends who watch horror for the first time and they are completely fucking traumatized. Like it's a wrap for them. So, do you remember who you were with the first time you had watched it?
Well, I mean, this is a really interesting story, my friend, and you already know. um, being an 8-year-old, I do have some siblings. I had my oldest sister who's about 4.5, 5 years older than me. And then I have my 2 brothers. Well, my little brother was too little to watch TV. So one night my sister decided to watch the FK, is what I call him, or Freddie K. Like I said, hard time saying the full name without having a panic attack.
Right.
Anyway, so the cool thing about my sister was she loved to traumatize me. She loved to hurt me. So she literally held me down in a chair and made me watch the entire FK movie, the entire thing. Pretty sure I didn't sleep for the next 3.5 years.
But I gotta say, I know that it might have been a traumatizing event for you then, but sister to Dawn, I love you and I think you're amazing. And thank you for doing the Lord's work when she was such a young lady. So now I know the answer to this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a scene for me as well
Mhm.
that I've talked about, the sheer heartbreak and panic that ensues
Mhm.
with this scene. So what was the scene from Nightmare 3 that affected you the most?
Okay, so the scene that affected me the most is when the character, and I don't know if people watching this actually have seen the movie or not, but there's a character by the name of Taryn White. Um, she, is in the psycho ward, whatever you call it, psychiatric place. She's recovering. She's a recovering drug addict. So the scene that haunts me and that really like jumped out at me and was very memorable was after they go into the dreams to try to save a friend. She ends up in this like funky alley or whatever, and she's all alone, and FK, being the dude that he is, came in and kind of terrorized her and took her biggest fear, and her biggest fear was ODing on drugs. And he takes his hands and they turn into syringes and he pops them right, oh Lord, it pops it right into the girl. And it was probably the most traumatizing thing that I've ever seen, but also it's probably the one thing that has kept me from ever doing drugs.
Right.
Quite
Well,
honestly.
and I think that, I don't think it's a secret that I'm a recovering addict. And, a scene like that as a kid affects
Mhm.
you in a certain way. And then watching it as an adult that,
Mhm.
is recovering from things of that nature. It's so hard to watch because,
Right.
and at the end, right before he stabs her, she actually just like gives in, like
Yep.
she knows it's going to happen. And, it's like that to me shows how evil he is. He
Yeah.
uses something that this young lady was so, he used something she was so proud of. She was
Right.
able to kick that habit, which is not easy to do. Um, and he ends up, getting her. And that to me is probably one of my uh saddest slash most relatable deaths in the Nightmare on Elm
Right.
Street franchise. It's just such a heartbreaking moment for me. Now, as a 36-year-old man, that's probably the most heartbreaking moment in the whole Nightmare on Elm Street franchise to me. Um, Now that is a kill, and obviously that's one of the bigger kills in the movie.
Right.
But
Right.
was there another kill in this movie that affected you on that level, or was that pretty much like the main one?
That was the main one. I think my favorite kill though is towards the end. I'm very big on dreams and dream meanings, and I do have nightmares myself, as a grown up,
Mhm.
as a 42-year-old woman. There you go.
Right.
So I have those. Probably stems from watching that movie. I'm not gonna lie,
Right.
but it is the end where the character Nancy, whose parents had burned FK, back in the day, whatnot. She sees her dad in the dream, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna pass, whatever. And then how she didn't know it was FK. He comes at her and kills her. I mean, she didn't die yet, but he comes at her and stabs her, whatever. And it's like, why didn't you know? Like, you should have known.
Right.
Because at that point, I'm like, really? How stupid could it be?
Well, and it's another one of those things where as a kid you see this and you're like, oh my gosh, Nancy, they killed Nancy. That's so sad. And then as an adult, you're like, wow, that's a risk to kill the final girl from the first film. Like, that was a huge risk they took there, and it paid off.
Oh,
it was a great movie. But now I know that this guy is not really your cup of tea. He's more of a fear thing for you than anything. But one question I've been asking lately is, would you like to see your first horror movie remade today? Now, obviously, with this being the third part of a franchise,
right?
The first one did have a remake back in 2011. Were you a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street remake? Did you watch it?
I have never seen any other of the FK. That was the one. Like, I can watch any other scary movie, any other horror film. It does not matter what it is. I could probably watch it. Like, I don't like possessions a whole lot because the whole spiritual thing isn't. I'm not big with that. But like, I could watch Saws and Chucky's and Annabelle's and all these different types of things. Like, I can watch all of this stuff. Lost Boys was my favorite. But the FKs, how about no? I'm just gonna say a big fat no. Right. And it's funny because when we first got on here, you wearing that shirt. What was the first thing I said? Thanks for wearing a shirt, bro.
Yeah. Really appreciate that one. See, and I think that there's so many different scenes in the Dream Warriors. Like, you even have the scene where the snake Freddy, where he's just a big snake and he eats her. You're like, there's so many. I could see how this movie could affect someone for the wrong reasons. Like, it's a very scary movie when you're a kid watching this movie. So I completely understand and I respect that. So
they take a lot of the fears, a lot of the common fears that people have, in today's world, things like that. Taryn and her drugs, and she didn't want to do that. And then you got people that are like, suicidal and all those other kind of folks. So he literally takes all of the fears that normal, like, everyday people have and put it into a movie. Oh gosh.
Right. And I think that's why it's so effective, because we've all, everybody, maybe everybody's not battled drug addiction, but I think everybody has battled an addiction at some point. So we know how it is to beat that, and maybe, what we thought we beat it and it comes back to us again.
Right.
So no matter what the addiction is, I think we've all faced addiction in some way or another. And I hope that if you're out there right now and you're battling it, you're defeating it, because you can do it. I promise. Just stay strong.
Yes.
So, Dawn, we talked about your first horror movie being Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and what that movie means to you and how much it affected you. But real quick, I do want, my little buddy Ghostface is here, Dawn, and he has a question for you.
Oh, gosh.
What's your favorite scary movie, Dawn? Oh, it disappeared. What is your favorite horror movie of all time?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I really do love The Lost Boys, but I'm not going to lie, Chucky, anything Chucky. I've worked with kids forever. And to have a doll, to have a doll that can, be possessed and come after people, it makes me laugh. I'm like, get the kids.
Fuck them kids. See, and it's funny because for me personally, Child's Play is my favorite horror franchise of all time. I just think that it's still going today. They got the Chucky TV series, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It's so amazing. So I definitely agree with you there. Dawn, this has been so amazing getting, to know you a little bit better, being able to introduce you to a lot of the people that I hang out with here, and, for them to learn horror, how it started for you. Now, before we wrap this up, I always end this with the same question. We're going to bounce back, and I know the answer, but according to my script, I have to ask. We're going to bounce back to Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and what we're going to do is we're going to rank this movie on a skull count. Now, Dawn, we're not ranking this movie on acting, production, score, nothing like that. What we're doing here is strictly ranking this movie on how much it affected you on first viewing. So 0 skulls being not effective, 5 being extremely effective. You can use half and quarter skulls anywhere in the middle like you'd have to. Dawn, how much would you say A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 affected you?
That would have to be a big 5.
Yeah. I
That was
figured it
a
was.
that was
So
a oh no, that was a literal anxiety attack to even think about this film again.
yeah. Oh no, and like that's why I said
Oh
like
man.
I appreciate the fact that you came on here and you were still willing to work with me on this because this is something we've been trying to make happen for a long time, and I'm glad
Yeah.
we're finally able to do this. I hope to be able to work with you again in the future, whether it's on a
Oh, you
Sledgehammer
will.
horror platform or another platform. I think that every chance I've gotten to be around you has been a super great experience for me. So I would love to
Oh,
do it
thank
at any
you.
chance that I get. Um, Now, before we go, I do want to remind everybody all of Dawn's social media links are right down here in the description. So make sure you're giving her a follow. Make sure you're checking out her short film. And before you know it, Saint Gabriel will be out.
Yes.
And I promise you are not going to want to miss this. This is so amazing. And I'm so honored to have been a part of this. And like I said on Jose and Derek's episode, this isn't
Yeah.
a thing where I'm in this, so I want to promote it. They pitched me this idea and I was like, wow, you guys, this is so good. And I literally begged them to let me do a little part in it. So
Nice.
that's how amazing I thought this was. So, Dawn was amazing in it. We had, Johnny Salutaire. We had all these great, amazing people that did such an amazing job. And I can't wait for this to come to fruition because the hard work that these people have put into this, it's been filmed 3 different times and just trying to find the
Yes.
right places to make this happen. They are some of the hardworking, most genuine, kindest people you could ever hope to meet. And Dawn is a huge part of that group. So make sure you're following them on all their social medias because they, like I said, not only are they great people, they're just a wonderful, wonderful, inspiring, hardworking
Yes.
group of
Yes.
directors, writers, actors that I aspire to be like. So make
You're
sure you're
right there
following
with
them.
us. You're
No,
right there
I
with
love
us.
you guys so much. And it's not just like I said, it's not just you as the people you are, but the work ethic that you guys have. Every time we're talking, it's like, hey, what you up to? Working on this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, you guys are busy people. So
Nobody
your
stops.
guys' work ethic, no, it doesn't. It's inspiring. Like it makes me want to continuously keep, pushing stuff out. So I feel like we bounce off each other, the work ethic and
Yeah.
the way that we all want to be. And it's amazing to call you guys friends. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, no,
You're
anytime.
awesome, man.
Don't go anywhere though. I got a couple more questions for you. Everyone else, as always, keep talking horror, stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.